Hello everyone, my name is Khalior. I bring to you every week the latest news related to Bloodhunt and everything around it, and I help explain the news in a way to better understand what is going on. For posterity, archival, and recording purposes, it is currently Saturday, May 20th, 2023. It is currently 11:32 a.m. Eastern Time. It has been 389 days since the official release of Bloodhunt. Currently activated in-game is the Primus Pass, and the current patch is the Spring Update. We are recording this live on Twitch every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If you are live with me, feel free to ask questions in the chat. As a reminder and a disclosure, and please pay attention to this specifically for this episode, I am not a game dev. I am not bound by an NDA, but I'll do the best that I can explain the news with some reasonable assumptions, and I do not work for SharkMob. Even though some people think I am, I don't. So, what we're going to be talking about today? Well, the frickin' elephant in the room, the big news that has dropped in front of us this week. Before we get into opinions and theories, we will take the time to read through everything, because just from that simple article that was posted, there's already a few very misleading rumors that are already out there in the community. I want to make sure that we're squashing this. The first one that I want to say immediately, right off the bat, if there's anyone that has any questions or that is looking at things in the future in some sort of perspective, the most important rumor I want to squash is there is no shutdown of the Bloodhunt servers. There is no date put forward. There is no plans to shut down the servers. If some people have been saying that, oh, the servers are shutting down sometime in September, that is a lie. That is a lie. That is people that read in diagonal through the article and didn't understand most of what was said in there. That is the lie that I've seen. That is a rumor I've seen spread throughout the week. Just know that that is absolutely not true. First and foremost. Second, yes, this means also that people have been reading the article in diagonal. So if you're new here, you should know I don't like that, and that's why I read word for word exactly what is in the articles that we get. So the article that I'm talking about is, let's not be a Debbie Downer right off the bat, Motion. Whoa, hold on, that is not the one I wanted. I don't want to have the be right back. Why is that? Yeah, that should not be there. There we go. Let's go away. Okay. Wait, what? Hold on. Something didn't work. Something didn't work. Okay. Actually, there we go. Boom. So that is the news that we've got this week. We have an important announcement concerning the future development of Bloodhunt. Please read the full announcement by clicking the link. Link is clicked. Here we go. Let's read through it. So, May 15th, 2023, the future of Bloodhunt. Hello, Bloodhunt community. Bloodhunt is a game that we developed as a standout title in the popular Battle Royale genre, where we focused on creating an immersive and unique experience for players that enjoy games that are easy to learn but difficult to master. Ever since launch, we have been on a journey to excite and delight our players. However, while we have an amazing and very engaged community, we haven't been able to reach the critical mass needed to sustain development. The word here, important word, is sustain development. This has led us to the decision to stop further development of Bloodhunt. With that said, Bloodhunt servers will stay up and the game will remain available to play. Our aim is to keep the servers going for as long as we have an active player base and community. So immediately to squash those rumors, there you go, that is the key phrase, that is the key sentence here. As long as people are playing, the servers are going to stay up. For those who enjoy the game and want to continue playing, we have worked on some solutions to ensure that the game continues to be interesting. Solutions, you say? Okay. An in-game player voting system, which we've already talked about in the past, will be deployed to regularly unlock new things and keep Bloodhunt fresh. We will share more granular details about how this system works when we get closer to releasing our next update, which will be the last planned patch for Bloodhunt. Beyond that, patches will only be related to maintenance. So, there's a lot of things in here. First of all, there's some solutions to keep the game interesting. We don't know what they are. The voting system. Okay. That is a thing that they've talked about in the past, even twice. And there's been 2 learning articles that they've been talking about the voting system. Regularly unlock new things and keep Bloodhunt fresh. Well, that's a new idea. We've never heard of that before. What does that mean? We have no idea. And the next update is going to be the last planned patch. Beyond that, patches will only be related to maintenance. Now, what exactly does that mean? Maintenance here. We don't know. For different game companies, maintenance means certain different things. For some games, maintenance mostly means someone keeps an eye on the servers. Someone keeps an eye on managing the community, because, you know, there's still rules to be followed there. Also this means, you know, the regular, you know, kind of backbone support to make sure that a game works is still there. And whenever they do maintenance updates, it's sometimes, you know, something's gone wrong, and sometimes it's just like little fixes just to keep everything going. But technically, usually, when it's maintenance, it means like usually there's no dev that goes in and fixes some numbers. Now, for some other games, it's been more than that. It's been, we're still gonna do a few balance changes once in a while, and it's very kind of low effort, if you want to say it like that. I know, even though I know it's not low effort. Where once in a while, maybe every few months, or like a long period of time, like 6 months, a year, a few years sometimes, if the servers are still being populated, sometimes they will come in and do a few balance fixes that can happen. Sometimes they can surprise with like, hey, someone has been working on some things on the side, and here's a few things, a few items, a few like updates to a store or something like that. Some of them has been a much more involved presence, but yeah, that's just to let you know that what exactly does maintenance mean. We will see when they let us know exactly what that entails. We can't know for sure. We are also looking at turning off real currency purchasing on September 26th. Before this happens, we will implement a way to earn in-game tokens more easily, so players can continue to play and unlock cosmetics beyond this date. What exactly does that change mean? Well, usually, whenever there is real currency purchases inside a game, and it needs to be turned off, they usually, and I don't know if that's because of legal reasons, but I've seen a lot of games do that. They announce that many months in advance. I don't know exactly the reason why. I know that usually real currency purchasing is not something that is just like, oh, it's next week or it's now, like that we stop it whenever it stops. The important thing that might be interesting to some people is that, yeah, after that, as long as the servers are still up and there's still people playing beyond September 26th, the currency of the realm will be tokens. So, keep that in mind. If we still have events and tournaments happening, which I will talk about in a moment, it means that tokens will be that are usually given through these events, community-driven events, and all that sort of stuff. They will become like the main currency of the land, plus whatever that method is going to be to earn in-game tokens easily. So that already can clue you in that the store, which we know is set to have monthly automatic updates. We don't know exactly what the contents of the updates are going to be, but we know that there's going to be content that's going to be added to the store. They have said before that no items should be removed from the store. Everything, it's been for a few months now, everything just keeps getting added to the store. So there's that. If people want to have any idea, back in early access, we had some challenges that were there at some point. I believe it was 1 or 2 challenges that was there every day, where we completed that task and we got in-game tokens in return. Maybe it's going to be a return of that. Maybe it's going to be a transformation of that. We don't know. By this point, it's just speculation. While we are as sad as you are that Bloodhunt development has now come to an end, please know that this was a difficult decision to make, and we take this experience with us in the development of coming games. So for all the people that have said, hey, I hope that Sharkmob takes this in, as lessons for following games, yeah, they're literally saying it right now here. We hope you will still have many enjoyable experiences in Bloodhunt, and we look forward to seeing you on the streets of Prague. Following this announcement, of course, the reaction of many people has been, long live Bloodhunt, Bloodhunt is dead, and many different, the usual kind of expected reactions from a gaming environment, let's say, have come through, I should say. So the usual expected reactions from people, different sort of reactions, different sorts of people. You kind of knew exactly what was going to happen inside the social sphere and inside the Discord and blah, blah, blah. The first thing I have to tell you about this, first and foremost, don't harass the devs. The decision to do this did not come from anyone in the Bloodhunt team. The decision came from higher up in Sharkmob. We have a few clues about this. In the latest learnings articles, like I said, I was talking about the voting system. The voting system was meant to be added to the game in different iterations, starting with the May update, or at least what was supposed to be the May update at this time, at the time of the writing of the articles. So they were preparing for a scheduled release plan on how to progressively work in the voting system. That was in the articles. I know that the last one said the voting system has matured since then. That was the term being used. It has matured since then. But they didn't give any details on exactly what that meant. Did the time for different iterations, did they already have the news internally at that point? We don't know. This is speculation. We know also in terms of content creators in the inner circle. Now, I've told you about the code campaigns that have been happening. There's been a recent code campaign for the Vapor Trail outfit, the anime outfit, the Ubu, where they were encouraging content creators to create content and they'd get codes for this. And recently it's been announced, the Vapor Trail The Vapor Trail campaign has ended. There's going to be more campaigns to come. That's one thing. Another thing is there was talks about distributing a special icon and banner to the top 100 streamers or content creators. I'm not exactly sure because I've never actually seen any list, or that effort has not been like concretely put together yet, so I'm not exactly sure of how exactly that turns out, but that was still something that was in the process of doing. And why would you bother to reward people if, you know, you didn't plan on continuing the efforts to support that in the future? Another thing is they've just recently reworked a tutorial. And let me emphasize this. Let me emphasize this like for just a moment. You don't rework a tutorial for your game out of the blue. You don't just do that on a whim just to toss away. No. Like, you don't do that just to get players in and then get them to quit quicker. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Making a tutorial is an incredibly amount of is a very costly thing to do inside. It takes time, it takes resources. It's a pain in the ass to do because you have to be as didactic, I believe is the word, as possible. You know, you need to plan carefully the way the how do you call this? Like how the tutorial is going to shape the experience of the new player to understand the mechanics and environment and behaviors that are expected of the player as you go along through the tutorial up to completion. That is a lot of iteration. It's an iterative process, and I can tell you with this new tutorial, they have custom made this entire experience, and that probably took a very long while. Also, a tutorial is not just like, why would you bother to put like all of that time and effort inside a tutorial? Well, it's because a tutorial in all games, it is an investment in the growth of your game, of the future of your game, because you're expecting to like shape the beginning experience so that people can better engage in the game and everything else about the game. It's the starter experience. It's your first impressions, all of that. You don't just willy-nilly toss that out if you're not expecting to do something with it like in the future. If you're not expecting, even if you know that the development is going to be shuttering down, is going to be like going to shut down little by little going into the future, you don't do that if basically you're being told, yeah, the objective of all this is to shut down the servers. You don't do that like that, and you don't do that necessarily just for fun either. So these are the little clues that I'm telling you that are letting me know that Shark Mob Team, the CVC, the Core Vampire crew have very likely nothing to do with the decision or the result of the decision. Here's the biggest speculation I have ever done about the game, and I want to share this with you because I think that with the clues and the bits and pieces that I've managed to collect along the time the time that I've been covering Bloodhunt, it's just based on events and connecting the dots. So possibly like I may be putting my foot in my mouth, and feel free, some people who are in the know, to come and correct me in DMs and all of that stuff. But here's what I thought has happened. I think that the decision to come to this point was very likely made at the end of the summer of last year, after all the momentum that was gained at launch was lost. So, Yeah, so begin speculation right now. I'll get back to like the more tangible stuff like coming in the future. So it starts with someone at Shark Mob Corporate. Okay, you got Shark Mob, you've got Bloodhunt. Shark Mob is working on different games, but Bloodhunt team is focused on Bloodhunt stuff. Keep that in mind. If you want to understand the story or anything that has to do with the background or how this game has been put together, you need to understand this very simple fact. Shark Mob, Bloodhunt, different things. So someone at Shark Mob Corporate says launch the game, despite the devs saying it's not ready. That's the huge speculation of me. What happens though? At launch, we got the Hydra bug that happens at the height of the popularity of the game. The issue is complex to fix, especially with devs working with an engine that they've built themselves, and it's the first time it's actually working on a live service that goes beyond the confines of the very controlled early access environment. The time it takes to fix these issues kills all the momentum that's been built from launch, and we got to the point even that we have to do queue swaps for a while we're waiting for the summer update to be greenlit and put on the live servers. Summer update arrives, and that's when the Hydra bugs are fixed. However, it's not advertised that those bugs are fixed. And the growth of the population of the game is being stunted by the fact that there are no solutions in place to keep a casual player base, because the game was set to work with a much larger population, both in theory and both with the systems that were put in place. Skill-based matchmaking, yada 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 yada. Most of the casual player base and the newcomers don't see any kind of reason to stay in the game longer than an hour or something like that. So that kills all the growth potential of the game. Seeing those results, Shark Mob Corporate looks at all the solutions in place, looks at all the stats and predictive models, and come to the conclusion and decision that it's time to stop efforts with the game. It's dead in the water, and statistically there's no way to recuperate the efforts that were built up for the launch. So while they're talking about this and coming up with a plan, marketing for Bloodhunt is ground to a halt. There are some conventions that they're going to in Europe, but apart from that, after that, it's that's when marketing stops disappearing. That's why I'm saying it's about at that time. We spend August and September in kind of an uneasy uncertitude about what exactly is happening. There's some people that are not too sure exactly what's happening in the future. We're not receiving very strong statements about anything really. And at some point in the middle of that, we're told that the ambassador program is going to get a kind of a shakeup and a rework. We're going to have some more news to come, and we wait and we wait and we wait, and there's no news about this. Again, this is all my speculation about how things worked. In October, so remember, Shark Mob's been thinking about that plan, what exactly they're going to do with the game and all of this. In October, the plan is shared with the Bloodhunt team and with the ambassadors. Or at least a part of it is shared with the ambassadors. I don't know exactly. It's kind of a state that I don't exactly know what's going on there. The plan is the bulk of the Bloodhunt team will finish all of their work with the framework of the game, and they will leave everything in the hands of the smaller Bloodhunt team by the end of the fiscal year, and then most of them will be shipped onto Game 2. At that point in October, some ambassadors disappear. Some of them, or almost all of the other ones, suddenly turn into variety streamers all of a sudden. All of a sudden, all of them are exploring new games and all of that. That's what is telling me that at that point, like a lot of the mood, a lot of the communications, a lot of the messages that we've been seeing in October, suddenly there was nothing that was like the uncertainty that was happening in August and September suddenly was gone. People had an idea in mind of what to do. That's how I noticed that the tone had shifted and everyone knew something that the rest of the people didn't know. December comes and everyone gets the news regarding the downsizing of the team. That's when I think that the CVC, the Core Vampire crew that is going to remain, they've been given the task of working on shaping the game to be in the best possible state so it can virtually run by itself, while at the same time addressing as many of the demands of the very passionate community, as many as they can with the resources and the time that they have in hand to. That's why, everything has been like so great in the updates. Like they've been giving us so many things since December. And then recently Sharkmup decided, you know what, gang, finish what you can by that date. We'll take almost all of you because we need you on game 2. End speculation from me. I think that is the framework of the story. That is like with the bits and pieces that I've like, I don't know if that can help people maybe make a little bit more sense about how this has been playing out in the background. I know that some people have been telling me, you kind of can't say anything, but so I might I will fully admit, that's why I've been saying this whole bit has been speculation. I think that I'm in the right kind of direction about the whole thing. And I certainly think that, for the people that have been asking or making calls to Sharkmob, can you please get back on your decision? The decision's been made towards the end of last summer. And that's how long it takes to get to this point. And there's also a very critical point of information in there I will get to in a moment about this whole situation. I'll get back to that in a moment. Some people may be asking why, but Khalior, you're not in mourning like some of us are. Like why? Well, it's because I've been like some people in the community that have been paying attention to what's been going on. Yeah, we kind of saw this coming. I know a lot of people have been saying this. We saw this coming, but yeah. And some people know this, and I've said this a few times. When I jumped in to do this, okay, to do all of this, like I've said this a few times, I knew that I was jumping on a sinking ship at a time when people and the rats couldn't get off the ship fast enough. Remember? It was just before the summer update when all the numbers were plummeting down. I still decided to jump in and go like, hey, why not? I knew that it was like very likely if the things were continuing the way that they were, I was probably going to go down. My little enterprise was going to go down with the ship, and I was fine with that, Personally, if I didn't do all of that, and that's a personal level, if I didn't do that, like jumped in, give my 2 cents, make a little effort, for the community of Bloodhunt in relaying the news and all of that. If I didn't do that, I would have regretted it. I would have regretted it if I didn't even take a shot at this. I would have been I could have at least done something, but I decided to go with my gut, I need to do something. So that's why I've been doing this. I did that. And surprisingly, and here's the point, the decision through all of this was not to shut the servers down when they came to that conclusion. Very important. Many other game studios, seeing their game going from top to bottom in terms of population and the servers, a lot of them take the decision of stopping everything. They shut down the servers and all of this. But they kept the servers up, so I continued, knowing full well at all the time that everything could end at a moment's notice. If you've been paying attention for many, many episodes that I've been doing this, I've always been reminding you that there's always the possibility the sword of Damocles that is, dangling over our heads could fall down at any point in time. So I've continued all of this with, all of this time with that idea in mind. It was firmly in my mind. So this announcement feels like the announcement that I was expecting them to give us back in September. I thought, no game studio in their right mind would keep such unprofitable servers up for as long as they did. But they did. Now, for what reason, we don't know. We would need someone to break their NDA, or someone to explain exactly who or how was this reasoned in Sharkmob Corporate to keep the servers up for this long. How are they, there's a lot of people that have been coming up on Reddit posts and a lot of things going how is this, no offense to anyone, but how is this financially still up? Why is this game still financially up? What is happening? What is, there's something fishy behind it. The only answer that we could come up with is the company is backed by Tencent. Tencent can throw money left and right, but some people have also said, throwing money left and right, that may be fine and good, but still it's money. At the end of the day, there's still people that are gonna ask to be accountable for expenses and everything. So there's still an uncertainty behind all of this, and I'm not sure that we're going to get any answer anytime soon about this. As long as the game is still up and there are NDAs still in existence, I don't think that we're going to get the answer. Still, even since the moment that the decision was made, there was still a possibility that we could have grabbed onto and give the game a second chance. Because, if there was no one out there to keep the fires burning, there's no ship that would come home. If there was no one to hold a beacon of hope, then we'd just let rampant toxicity take over so many areas of social media and gaming, and definitely our community would be swallowed by it. But NeoNeco said in his latest video, I'll get to that in a moment, first impressions are sometimes all that people care for or have the time for nowadays. Could this have been avoided? Yes. There was a possibility since last summer, that a Shroud could have picked up the game again, brought in thousands and thousands of people, and that might have stopped this announcements for being made this week. We've heard of surprise hits. They're few and far in between. You've heard of Among Us, among other ones. Realistically, the possibility was still there. It was very small, very, 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 very small, but it was still there. But still, that didn't happen. So, if this is your first online game that you've, to shut down, and it's a game that you've cared for, I understand what you're going through. It's because this is not the first time for me. You've made memories. You have emotional attachment. You feel frustrated by the situation and how little power you actually have in this whole thing. And you wish you could just bargain to keep the game going. Like, I understand. I hope that for some people, not just these people, like pretty much everyone that loves this game, I hope that you take the time in the following months to take screenshots, make videos, make a sort of scrapbook of memories of this game. So you can keep these memories with you, because it's unfortunately a reality of our digital age. That digital purchases only exist in a digital space. But they can also exist in our minds. So if we can't have them in a digital space, if you want to keep them with you, find a way to immortalize those experiences with you. Yeah, I think that goes for pretty much everyone. Do not invest in a single game. Best advice, worst advice, Mavith. Worst advice. At the same at that point, why do anything? Why do absolutely anything in this world? If you're not going to invest time and energy into anything, why take time into anything? You know? So, having backups of different things to invest your time and energy into, you're still moving the goalposts to still be the same thing. It's still the same issue, that you're moving on to different things. Oh, one single game? Yeah, okay. Of course games come and go. Absolutely. Absolutely. The bottom line is, after we're done with going through like the sadness of this announcement for some of us, like and all the group therapy that we're going to have to go through, and all of that stuff. Like, I know we've already got also trolls and toxic people that are popping up their ugly heads back in the community. You know, the ones, they've been... Every time that there's been some bad news about the game, they've been popping up going, I told you so! But, there's been people that have been doing that since early access. If you don't add crossplay, your game is done. I give it 3 weeks. But look at us here. So once we're done with all of that and the shockwave of the announcement, we can actually get back to playing Bloodhunt while we've got it. So the servers are not shutting down. We're still gonna be able to have it for quite some time. However, if you feel like a game announcing that they're stopping the development, but they're still keeping the servers online, if that kind of an announcement is enough to make you go play another game, then by all means do so. Like, no one's stopping you. I'm not trying to make you feel guilty about it or anything. There's some people that go, if there's not a possibility for the game to become what I wish it to become, then I'm moving on to other games. There's thousands of other games out there. Like, nothing's stopping you. But if you want to do that, you can do it without causing like any extra drama or harm for the people that are still enjoying it and will still continue to play it. Right now, for the rest of the people will still want to play. Some people have been asking, okay, so what do we do now? Well, you don't want the servers to shut down? Show up. Continue to play the game frequently. You don't want the community to go away? Participate in events. Watch the events. Support the events. Make some of them yourself. they're gonna be the best way to keep everyone together and connected. We still have to find a way. I'm positing this for the community. We need to find a way to keep everyone connected, and keep in mind that some of the population have been banned from the Bloodhunt Discord. So we need to find some kind of gateways of communication to like keep everyone together and connected and informed, like whenever there's going to be like tournaments and events and all that kind of stuff that's happening with the community. We need to make sure that we've got ourselves a network that is still like strong and stable, where we can make sure that the information is being circulated correctly. No, it doesn't necessarily mean, like, it can mean an inability to move on. It's possible. It's possible, but it also can be just like you like the game. In the meantime, drops and events will continue. Hold on. There we go. Tobias has been confirming we'll continue supporting community efforts, competitions, and tournaments, and drops will continue. So yeah. So yeah, that will continue. So no worries about that. Also, here's a little advice from Tobias as well. My advice is to get to the question of like, what do we do now? He says, my advice is to keep playing and enjoying the game with your friends. We built Bloodhunt for people to enjoy and have fun with it. That's a great way to support the community. If you feel like doing more, there are people in the inner circle who are planning some tournaments. If you want, you could help out with those. That's a way. In regards to like other people's hold on, I messed up my notes here. Okay, in regards to other people's opinions about the issue, there is MotionGaming that shared his thoughts here. If ever you want to go take a look at it, I feel that I've covered probably a lot of things that he's talking about as well. Maybe just not the same exact points, but it's always worth a look. Someone that's been, you know, inside the ambassador role, has been in contact with a lot of people inside of Shark Mob, may want to listen to what they have to say. But I believe that the one that you should absolutely go listen to is this one. This one. NeoNeco, who's also former ambassador, has made a video that is, in my eyes, I feel like this video is absolutely perfect. NeoNeco nails it, like it hits it out of the park. Absolutely 100%. If you want to know the things, like all the good sides and the bad sides of the Bloodhunt game, things that have been working, things that have not been working, he distills it down. Like it's fantastic. Like he's got everything all together. And also makes a little comment about games as an online service, because he's been like not just like delving into Bloodhunt, but also been keeping an eye on just like the general gaming environment. Yeah, and it feels like maybe we've come to a point where games as an online service, we are at a tipping point at this time. I mean, we have been for a while, but certainly for us, players of Bloodhunt, and if ever we need to reflect on something good that could have been even better, yeah, absolutely highly recommend you go watch NeoNeco's video. Absolutely. So another thing I want to say, for the, you know, for I just want to add that it's not necessary, but I just want to mention it. So for the people that have been telling us, you know, we told you so. Yeah, we know, we knew. See, the thing is, yeah, we know, we knew. A lot of us knew. The thing is that we just didn't expect it was going to happen at this point in time. And for some of us, it doesn't make it hurt less. So yeah, we know there's no point in saying that, you know, like we know what you're about to say. There's no point in saying it because tons of people have been saying it before. You know, since early access, plenty of people have been saying it since then, all the time. You know, we're not blind, at least the majority of us. We're not blind, we're not deluded. Yeah, we know you've come to share your piece of wisdom based on reality. Repeating those things doesn't help anyone, or at least it doesn't help anyone that still want to play the game or the people that are dealing with the grief. Yes, Maveth, despite the way that you are certainly feeling a very certain way about the game, yes, there's some people that did not expect this announcement to come this early. And some people have been taking the news very, very hard this week. No, you don't, and that's good for you. That's good for you. Some other people have not been feeling the same exact way, even though they knew. Okay, they knew. It's still the announcement, just like it hit in a certain way. So that's why I'm saying this, you know. Yeah, and yeah, exactly, Rugered. There's some people that have been like, that kind of announcement just like hit them a little bit harder and make them like not want to play, and they have to digest this. They have to think about this. And they still know, like they all know the whole situation. They know the servers are still up. It's just like taking the blow for it. It's just that, you know, it's the mental blow that it still needs to be taken. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you see something coming that, you know, because you see something coming and it's gonna hurt you, it doesn't mean that when the impact arrives, it's not going to hurt any less for some people. So I'm gonna say that. So if there's some people out there that want to, like, you know, say the usual things that people have been saying since the early alpha, just, you know, like, let people deal with this. I know that it may be cathartic for you to come and say us, you know, the old I told you so's and all of this, but I'm just gonna speak for a lot of people and say that even though, yeah, you're coming with the I told you so's, like, we have the knowledge of it as well. We're just not interested, and let us have our game in peace if it's possible. You're welcome to join us if you want, you know, to see what you've been missing out on, or to whatever you think has been going on with the game, even though you haven't touched it for months or weeks or ever. The servers are still up. Join us. Don't worry, we bite. So what does that mean for us? What does that mean for us? Well, okay, for Bloodhunt, for the game, we have a handful of devs left in the CVC to support us and keep an eye on us. We know for sure that we've got Leon and Tobias for sure. I don't know who else is going to be staying with us. To keep an eye on us, give us goodies, hopefully spend some more time with us, even play the game, all that sort of stuff. We have other teams. Can we please tone it down or just stop that in chat, please, everyone? I'm not beyond muting anyone. Just so I can have the peace of mind of actually doing the show the way that I'm supposed to have it recorded, everyone, okay? We have the other teams in Shark Mob that are gonna make sure that the service stays alive. So we've got, you know, server support, we've got ticket support, we've got anti-cheat, like all of this, all of the backbone to keep the game alive. Everything is still in place. They're still supporting Bloodhunt, but they're also supporting all the other stuff, like the other games that they're working on. They're still going to be working. They're still going to be there. It's still the same thing of they're going to support us as long as we are still showing up in the servers. Now, in terms of maybe what are we going to see in the future, I don't know, but maybe they can bring back all the items of the previous battle passes, because why not at this point? Are they going to release all the things that we know? Some people have seen some sneak peeks of things that have been in game, but we just don't know how to unlock them. Some people have like special things that have been unlocked on their accounts. They're not supposed to show, but sometimes there's been leaks. Sometimes there's been like little sneak peeks of things. Are those going to be unlocked? Are those going to be available? What about all the data mine stuff? Which I've never shown on my show because data mining stuff can be troublesome. Especially if, you know, sometimes some things can be data mined, but it's just like it's in like an early version of a thing and it's not meant to ever be a complete thing, or there's not going to be any time to have a complete thing out there. So that would be kind of like showcasing data mining stuff would kind of be building a lot of expectations that I would be building with my audience while not knowing exactly if those things are actually going to come to fruition. Like that would be kind of me giving you a false hope or a false premise, or just, you know, false hype about some things, you know. And I didn't want to do that. But yeah, like, are all those things, like those items, is that going to be like, are those going to be a part of the monthly updates to the store? Are they going to be a part of new systems? Are they going to be turned into shareable codes that we can give each other, like during events and tournaments and all of those little things that we're going to be able to do? Like, are there like any other like little special plans that maybe we can organically figure out and pass on to each other? So, you know, at this point, why not open the vault of all the things that currently we can wear on our characters and all of this? Because I'm sure also that there's some items that have been like created in the vault, but since then there's been the big rig, so maybe the things that were created in the past, yeah, they're there to be put in the game, but they're there to fit the older models that are not coming back, by the way. Maybe that's the time, you know. Guys, in the future, like speaking of the data mine stuff, like in the future we will be talking about that, like in terms of like what's going to be happening with my content of my show and all of that. Like we're going to be talking about that, like all the might have beens, the things that never saw the light of day, the things that were created and ready to go in their final version, but someone up there when it was like the time, like, can we put that in the game, or can we put that out there as marketing material? Can we do all the things? Someone decided, nope. and it just stayed there, and other things. But it's a little bit too early to start talking about all the might have beens, and wouldn't that have been cool to add to the game right now after this announcement. I think we need some time. It's still too early. We got to deal with our feelings, regroup, get the next update, have fun with that update, and then I'd say probably maybe later after that we will take time to do that. I know that Tobias has already said something about, like, you know, I'd like to share some of those things, as, you know, I'm like, okay, but maybe not now. But I hope that there's going to be some people out there that are going to be feeling generous enough to share those things with the community, please. As long as there's no, like, legal repercussions of showing things that are, you know, unfinished or not supposed to be public or all of that stuff. I'm just putting that out there in the universe, and we're gonna see, okay? Another thing that we know is gonna come with the next update, okay? Because we have a next update. I just want to repeat it. We have a next update with some things. We know that there's, you know, voting system. We've got the solutions that they said, and we'll also get, there will be something in there to grind for. I've been wanting this for so long. Something to grind for. Oh my god. Okay, it doesn't say anything though. That kind of statement doesn't say anything, but yes, Tobias has confirmed that there's going to be something in there to grind for. So yes, please give me something to grind. I would love things to grind on and not be lewd about things. But yeah, there's gonna be that. For the community, I know that currently in preparation there are 3 tournaments. Some of them are very fixed in time of exactly what they're going to be. Some are still being worked on. Some of them are still in the formation stage. They're trying to figure out exactly what they are or what they are going to become. And let me skip through my notes immediately. I am going to tell you that, speaking of tournaments, yeah, FAR, you know, we had a fun tournament last weekend, or the other weekend, I don't remember. No, it was last weekend. There is some feedback that there's been shared. There's a link there if you want to see the feedback. There's going to be fun tournament number 2 that is going to be worked on. That is currently being worked on, I can tell you. I know, Far, you've told me other things, but I didn't have time to read everything, so I don't know. Sorry, I forgot to, where's my link? There was the feedback right here, if you want to check it out. The feedback is coming from you. It is coming from all of you. No, I know it's not a secret. It's just I didn't have time to read because I was getting so many DMs in the last 2 hours. I didn't have time. Also, I know that there's been a post asking for your opinions. What do you want the next... this is a different one. What do you want the next tournament to be? Trios, duos, solos? What kind of format do you want to see it in? Go click that link, okay? Go join in with the people that are in the discussion. Give your opinion of what do you want? What kind of type do you want? What kind of format do you want? Do you want anything special about this? Like, okay, you don't want a kill race? Okay, what do you want instead of a kill race? Do you have any suggestions? Do you have any ideas? Go inside that link. Go reply to it if you have Twitter, of course. Yeah, hold on. just because I skipped something, then suddenly like I don't have anything. Okay, so I know there's 3 tournaments. I know that there is at least 3 fun little events that are being worked on currently. One of them being from me. I know that there's some people that have techno demon codes. Like, again, this is for the people that still want to continue and play the game. You know, all of this. Like, I'm still gonna be there, and there's still gonna be events to organize. I know that Makrai, my mod, has a bunch of techno demon masks that she's gonna be giving out. I know myself, I still have 1 techno demon mask. I know I have some Vapor Trail codes to give out as well. I'm still working on figuring out exactly how I'm going to be distributing those. I know that Tobias still has a ton of those Techno Demon Mask and Fuchsia Finish codes to give out. And there's other ways, other codes, other items, customization things that are about to be unleashed or released over time and all that sort of stuff. Just saying that there's still, you know, if you want to organize some things to distribute some codes, get them out, and also have tokens to give to people. Remember tokens? For the people that are still playing in the game, it's still not too late for you to jump in and organize all that sort of stuff. Jump in the official Discord, going in the inner circle, start talking about your ideas and all that sort of stuff. Who knows what kind of support you're gonna get? Now, remind me after I'm done recording, I'll explain the whole process to you. It's very easy. Now, as for myself, through all of this, personally, some people have been asking for my opinion or exactly what I'm going to be doing through all of this. As for myself, I'm staying here until the plug is pulled on the servers. I've said this many times in the past. I'm in here for the long haul. I love this game. You know, I haven't come across any other game like this, and I want to play it and I want to support it and I want to do my part in it like for as long as possible. I had the project of a talk show for Bloodhunt. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to axe that because originally the point of all this was meant to bring the community together and help boost confidence so we can maybe get more numbers. I don't think it's gonna be worth all the effort for me, so I'm gonna axe that right now. However, I will still continue to make sure that events and fun stuff in the community are going to happen as much as possible. And personally, also for PC players, I have plenty of Purple Pain codes to give out, the Intel ones. So as usual, gonna be available on my stream. And if I'm not gonna be organizing things, I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna be playing a lot more Bloodhunt than I've ever done. Yeah. And as far also as the news goes, well, for the news, well, of course, like there might not be as much news as as there will always have been. You know, I might go sometimes on a bi-weekly basis with the news just to keep people informed, or it might not be such a very long form anymore. Like at this point, I've recorded 1 hour, and I barely talked about news. Well, I did. But it might transform into a short form. Whatever is going to be necessary, I'm going to adapt to it. But yeah, I still want to make sure that I continue to inform people of what's going on inside the Bloodhunt community. There you go. I've seen some notable people in the community tell me that they are also not going anywhere. And that's good to see. That's good to see a lot of, yeah. some big names inside the community, some very known people inside the community that are still going to be there. Absolutely, like, you know, I'm there to support, so feel free to contact me for anything. If there's any people out there you want to organize things, you want to get in contact with some people, let me know. And of course, like, it may happen personally for me, like for this channel, that I might be streaming other games once in a while, but it, like, I've always done that. It's just, don't think that if you see me playing another game, that I'm gonna be abandoning Bloodhunt, okay? Just so we're clear. Like, I have a Sherlock Holmes game to play, like, this weekend, because I have to do a thing for Lurkit. Like, as a content creator, I'm obligated to play because I got a key. So I'm gonna be streaming that, but I'm gonna be streaming like a lot of other games, but I'm still gonna be at the core. This is still gonna be a Bloodhunt channel. My content is still gonna be Bloodhunt focused until the servers are down. So, release date? We do not have a release date. There is no release date. And personally, for the next update, since it's going to be the last update, okay, the last significant content update in the near future, I'm saying, like, to the devs, take as much time as you want. Okay, if this is gonna be the last one, make sure that everything is going to be, like, as good as possible, right? You know, like, if you need some extra time to finish, like, to put the finishing touches on things, because, you know, things might come out like a little broken, like, if they can come out in the least broken state as possible, that would be great. Yeah, my thing is just, like, take your time, devs, take your time with that last update. I really don't want this one to be rushed, let's just say. Or if there is going to be, like, hey, we're gonna come back to just, like, fix some things on the with this last update, we're gonna come back and just, like, patch some things through. I would like the remaining devs to let us know if that is going to be the case. Also, like, keep in mind, if there are things that are not working correctly, even though they're Bloodhunt team and there's people, like, in game 2, they're still in the same building. There's not a Bloodhunt silo and a game 2 silo at Shark Mob. Like, they've said, like, you know, whenever they started having the core vampire crew and there's people that switch to game 2, they're just like, you know, if ever they need our help with some things, we're gonna go across them and go ask them what they need and fix some things with you. Like, you know, they're not, you know, they can always come and help in a few different ways. It's just, like, probably, like, some people are going to go, like, okay, please, time management, you're supposed to be spending your time on game 2 rather than Bloodhunt, so get to it, you know, that kind of stuff. So it may be possible that that some devs might, you know, switch and help fix some things or whatever. But Calimero, no, we do not have a release date. Looking at the way that updates have been released, there has been a sort of schedule since December that pretty much every month we've got an update. However, I know that some people have been saying, like, if we continue with the trend, it means that we should have an update this month. However, as I've pointed out, the announcement has been made, not exactly, you know, to the, like, the announcement came, like, probably might have come as a surprise for the Bloodhunt crew, so maybe they might be taking a little bit more extra time with this one, just to, if not to fix things, it's probably just to load that update up with as many items and customizations and as many things as they can, you know, just bring everything from the vault and just, like, pile it on, like, because if that's, oh, no, I saw and I answered, so there's no release date right now, so we're gonna see. But But yeah, I personally am not abandoning Bloodhunt. There we go. And what that means is we can go right now to our regularly scheduled program, which is we're going to be talking about Twitch drops. So, because despite all this, the game's still there. So things are still moving on. Like I said, all the stuff is continuing, and that is Twitch drops as well. So Twitch drops this week. We have the Scourge mask, the long-awaited Scourge mask that has been teased since the, I believe, since the September update in some screenshots. Yeah, that is now available. And please note that the 3 persistent drops of the Please Die outfit for males, this full swing eyewear, and the Trailblazer outfit for females, this is the last week to get them. On next Friday, we should be getting new persistent drops, which means like returning drops from the past that are going to be available, hopefully from everyone that plays Bloodhunt with drops enabled. Like these, we're gonna have we should be having 3 new items. If we're still following the same pattern, that's what it should be happening. However, in replacement of the Scourge mask, in place of the Scourge mask, we are going to get the Burnout outfit. That is what we're going to get next week, and after that the puppet emote, and after that I imagine we're going to get probably a repeat of the drops as we usually do, and then maybe another series of drops following that. So keep an eye on that. So yeah. Yes, Rugered, it's after the news recap. It's even posted like in the stream elements, like messages that are showing inside the chat once in a while just to announce that. MotionGaming is also still continuing his May giveaways. So you can get Fuchsia Finish and Tecto Demon Mask if ever you feel like it. You can go click the link so you can take a look at all the instructions. This is going to be his last giveaway on next Friday. If you want to have a grab at one of those things. Like I said, I know that there are 3 contests / giveaways that are in preparation. I do not have any details to share about those right now. Another thing that Tobias has shared, because people have been asking, okay, so what happens? Are there still more secrets to be discovered inside the game and such and such? Seen this little interaction on the Discord where Tobias confirmed that there is still a hatch in Prague that no one has found. At the end, during the Omnis challenge, there was the message, that we had that was behind Omnis in the Elysium that we finally managed to decrypt. The message said something about finding the hatch of that person that wrote the message, and no one has found it yet. There is currently a hunt. There are some people playing the game that are trying to find exactly what that secret hatch is. Now, keep in mind that a hatch may come in many different ways. So here's a few examples of what a hatch can look like. Could be something that's down on the ground. Maybe something even that is rectangular in fashion, like this. Could be, usually when we hear a hatch, we're talking about ships. So it's kind of a ship hatch. Or something that looks like this. It's basically a door that you have to find somewhere in Prague. Can be anywhere, on the floor, on the walls. People are still looking for it, and so far no one seems to have located it. So there's people on a hunt for this. And Tobias says there are also other secrets that have not been found by the community. So probably things like the staring contest at the art gallery. That was a secret that someone managed to find. So maybe there's some other things all over the place that have not been found by the community. So, you know, if you are not necessarily in the PvP mood and you still want to explore the city, keep an eye out for a hatch somewhere. Also, another thing that has been found, you all know that recently Makrai has been loading in the tutorial a few times. Well, during the Omnis challenge, someone had discovered a flare gun. Makrai has managed to find the shotgun again and show us and display us a little video of how that flare gun actually looks like and how it works. The way that you do it is you keep loading the tutorial again and again and again. There are 2 red vans, weapon vans, that are on the map. Now the items, there's 2 items per van. Those items are randomized, and you just keep loading it again and again and again. And once in a while, we have learned from experience. Before it used to be the Camarilla boxes. In the old version of the tutorial, sometimes you'd open it and you'd find a different variation of a golden gun, something like that. Now, in this case, we've established that there are now 2 different weapons that are not part of the main game that we have discovered. So there was the flare gun, and this week we have actually the flare gun legend does fire ticking damage, and also does the usual thing that a flare gun does if you fire it in the air, but you can fire it at another vampire. And if you know anything about vampires in the world of Vampire the Masquerade, very flammable. However, this week, like it's been posting automatically in the chat, I've discovered the auto shotgun. So yeah, in one of the vans, I found an auto shotgun. It is absolutely going to be the death of all of us. So you can see the green variant here of what it looks like. Seems to have 8 shots loaded in. Here's how the character seems to be holding it. If you remember on the original announcement trailer of Bloodhunt, people have been asking. We've seen there's a Nosferatu with a shotgun. It's a kind of gun that is not in the game, and people have been wondering exactly what that kind of gun was. Well, finally, here it is. It is the auto shotgun. That is what that character has. Now, I think that by the design of how it looks here, it doesn't seem to have a little extra handle in the front so you can shoot and reload from the front. But the design here in the UI thing here seems to show that there is a handle there. So if ever you've seen the first John Wick movie, if you know what I'm talking about, there is a fight at the church. After John manages to escape, he grabs a shotgun that one of the guys has and stops the bad guy in his car. He is wielding that kind of shotgun. So yeah, there's a video that I posted there fighting an NPC, fighting the NPC there. The first part is me shooting the NPC to try to get different shots to get some different values, so we know what kind of damage it is actually going to be doing. And the second part of the video is me shooting at different ranges, so you can see the pellet spread and the distance. So this seems to be very short distance to, I would say it even covers the space, not even mid, but also can hit at the space between mid and long range. You can certainly be hit, but of course, you know, with the amount of pellets that you're gonna get, the damage is reduced as you go farther in the distance. So if you want to have a look at it, there's my little video there. And if you want to test it out yourself, I've just told you how to do it. Just keep loading in the tutorial, and there's 2 vans inside that little area of the tutorial that you can go into. Just load it up again and again, and you're gonna probably run into it. So will this join the flare gun in the next update, and we're gonna be able to actually play it in the regular version of the game? Who knows? But I would say probably yes. Oh, have I posted this? Okay, no, but there it is here. Okay. Also, I mentioned the Omnis challenge a moment ago. Well, Meriden Unknown, which we at this point you should know, he's the quest and lore guy, has finally received his statue, and he has shared he's shared the video of his video of unboxing it, but also has shared some pictures of close-ups of what the Omnis statue looks like, and I got them here for you if you want to have a look-see at what it looks like. So there you go. There's a few close-ups. If you follow Meriden on his tweets, you will find these pictures. I'm just displaying them quickly here for you to see. There is actual, like, it's not painted on moss. There is actual moss elements on the gargoyle, and there's this little skull that's at the back of the statue. Like, really, there's some detail that's been put into this. Like I said previously, this is a one of one. There are no other replicas of this statue that exist in the world. That is the only copy that exists. See the paying attention to the detail here in the hands, in the details of the jacket, and Omnis in general. Yeah. So there you have it. The Omnis statue. A relic in the a monument in the world of Bloodhunt. So I've told you everything already about the tournaments, so yeah, I'm very glad he got it. He was probably like, you know, there's people in the community that are very deserving of getting some things. He probably was the most deserving of receiving this. So we're at the point of the show where we ask, what happens now? Personally, I can tell you that I have a project that was supposed to release this week, but as I've been following everything that's been happening this week, all my projects have been pushed to the side. But I can tell you that I am definitely going to let you know of a little project that you might find interesting that some people have already started to do while they don't even know it, while killing time, while waiting for the next update to come. Some people might find that very interesting. Some of it might not interest some people, that's fine. But you're gonna see, it's gonna come out soon. Apart from that, tournaments, events, things from the community, if you want to participate, if you want to put your hand into any of this, feel free to reach out. Jump in the Discord of the Inner Circle. If you're part of the tournament Discord, step up if you want to organize things, if you want to help out with some of those tournaments that are already in preparation. Yeah, raise a hand. And apart from that, that is it. I know that people have a lot of thoughts and feelings about what's going to happen with Bloodhunt. I can just tell you what I've already said earlier, is that I'm staying here. The game is going to be up. The servers are going to be up. If you want to join in. If you feel like it's your time to say goodbye to the game, feel free. It's fine, as long the only thing is I want to make sure that people get the correct information when they're making their decisions. Again, the servers are not shutting down, stop that rumor immediately if ever you come across it. As long as people play the game, who knows what might happen. But right now, as long as people play the game is going to stay up. I know that there's a lot of people that are inside the community that want this game to still continue. They want to have their game. They want to have their fun. I'm going to be in it. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be fodder for the gods of Bloodhunt that are absolutely cracked at the game. I'm ready to be killed mercilessly again and again. But apart from that, if ever, again, as usual, if there's any people that come across some things that might be interesting, might be important, or if you've got some events or tournaments or things, people that are doing giveaways that you know of that are happening, please let me know. Apparently, I've missed out on 5 or 6 giveaways that people have been doing in the community because some people don't know I exist. And I'm doing this. And I'm not doing this for the community because such it is it the world of marketing and things. So, yes, please inform me if there's anything. Also, continue to give me follows on Twitch. The channel is still growing, and I appreciate everyone that's in there. I will do what I can with some giveaways. I was planning some special stuff. Plans and things are changing. I have to adapt. I will let you know whenever I'm doing some giveaways soon for my special codes that I've got. But apart from that, that is it for us here. People on Twitch, stick around. I'm going to give away a purple paint combo code for PC players after the recording. And maybe we can talk a bit if you've got some questions about things. I know a lot of things. Maybe I can alleviate some concerns that I have not been addressing while I was doing my soliloquy, basically. So, everyone, as usual, be kind to each other and be kind to yourself. Thank you for watching, and yes, I will see you next week. Thank you.